everyone, First Born 5 Meteorologist Melissa Meeder here on our Thanksgiving Eve. We've got a lot to talk about. Cold air is going to continue to filter into the region. It's getting even colder. We've got our first impactful winter system that's going to be moving through the area. We've got new updates on the first warns. A lot going on. I want to kind of get you started with what's happening this weekend, your Saturday and Sunday at this point. So what we are going to do is on Saturday, we are going to see generally rain majority of the day, at least here in the metro. Our northern areas see the better chance for snow throughout the entirety of this system. But Saturday brings the first warn as we could go from a steady rain through much of the day to evening snow potential through the overnight hours. We maybe see a dusting to about an inch on grass when it's all said and done. When we think about how warm the ground is still, it's going to be hard for any of that to stick. And therefore, we are likely going to see little to no accumulation from this system. Not necessarily the same could be said for our northern areas. We'll get into that here in just a second. But the system is out by Sunday, but it leaves behind bitter cold conditions. The coldest day we are going to see so far this season, paired with windy conditions, much of the day will be in the single digits into the teens. So we've got the first warn in place for the rain to snow potential on Saturday. Sunday, we're dry. Maybe a few flurries linger on the back end of that. But overall, it's just going to be a cold and windy day on Sunday. Right now, we've got mostly cloudy conditions on our Midwest heating, cooling, and plumbing camera. Temperatures are generally going to continue to be in the 30s from here on out. We fall into the 20s by the time we get to tomorrow morning. Cloud cover moves out of the area. That way, we allow those temperatures to drop into the mid-20s in the metro, 25 in Kansas City. It'll be much colder in our northern areas, 19 in Maryville, 21 in Bethany. So it's a cold start with a little bit of a breeze, feeling like the low 20s. I know a lot of people are probably going out for a turkey trot tomorrow morning. Temperatures won't get above freezing until we get to about 10 a.m. The good news is we'll see sun, so we do have that, but we're in the upper 30s by noon. Sunshine on tap, a light breeze, 5 to 10 miles an hour, but that could impact these temperatures and make it feel a few degrees colder. So you'll need your layers, you'll need your warm clothing for tomorrow morning if you have plans. The afternoon, we make it into the lower 40s. 42 degrees, very similar to today. It's sunny, it's chilly, we've got a light breeze. We then see that potential for that weekend system moving in for rain to snow and then turning cold. So let's get into the weekend system. I'm going to go back through your Thursday, your Friday, and then get into Saturday. So tomorrow, 42, we're sunny, we're quiet. And Friday now, no more first warn is in place. Because during the day, we're going to be dry. It's not until we get to late Friday night that we see the system start to move in and bring the chance for rain and snow. We'll walk through that here in just a second. But maybe as we go into the night, that's when we see some light rain. So much of the day dry, it's cloudy, it's mild. When we think about, what's to come, we're around 40 degrees. Saturday, still 40. That chance for rain, snow. So let's walk through Friday and Saturday and Sunday at this point. So Friday, as you can see in the evening, we start to see the system move in. This is our longer range model. We are not quite in the time frame. Tomorrow morning, we will be able to see the entirety of Saturday with our short range models. We only see a little bit of Saturday morning at this point. And actually, I'm going to walk you through this model and then we'll go look at our short-term model and how far it gets out. So for your Friday, dry, cloudy throughout the day. In the evening, maybe a quick passing rain shower, wintry mix along our northern areas. But by 10, expect to see rain across the area, whether it's spotty, it's scattered. We see that then the potential Friday night in our northern areas. As you can see, snow is already overtaking our northern areas. Through the night, snow in the north remains. Rain for the rest of us is expected. This continues through the night, and by the time we get to Saturday morning, still rain for most of us. It is still continuing to have the possibility of snow in our northern areas. Maryville, Bethany, Cameron, Chillicothe, That continues throughout the day. By the time we get to 6, 7 o'clock, that is when we start in the metro and along I-70 to start to see that change to a wet snow. That then would be possible through the night along I-70 and towards the north, and we're clearing out by the time we get to Sunday morning. So that's our longer range model. Now I'm going to take you through one of the shorter range models so you could see, and we're only going to get to, I think we'll only get to about noon. So the shorter range model compared to the longer range model is much more high resolution. So while it looks really, really widespread on the longer range, it's not going to look as widespread here. So there is going to be better resolution. So as we go through Friday, things are fine. We're quiet. Friday evening, as I mentioned, maybe some snow showers, wintry mix potential in our northern areas. By 10 o'clock, maybe we start to see some rain developing, and it looks like it's mainly in the eastern half before it starts to backfill. And then by the time we get to Saturday morning, then we generally see pretty widespread rain across the area. Look towards our northern areas. We see snow beginning, but it takes a little bit longer to filter in on this particular model. We continue to see rain with that snow along the northern border continuing throughout the day and into about noon. That's as far as we could get at this point. So pretty similar when we think about location, when we think about timing, as the longer range models at this point. It is going to be generally, spotty at first, becoming more widespread through the night, and then rain possible through Saturday. The chance for snow is more likely and best chance along our northern, northeastern areas. So that is Saturday, what we have with the short range models now. But this is generally what we're thinking. For the metro, it's rainy for the bulk of the day. We then, in the evening, start to switch over to that snow. It would be wet, a wet snow, but because our ground is so warm, most of it on contact will melt. Likely going to be big snowflakes as well. But through the night, cold air starts to sink in on the backside of that. Maybe we start to see a little bit of accumulation, maybe the dusting to an inch overall on the grass. But we're not really expecting any accumulation from this system here in the metro. However, if you look at Saturday, we're looking at snowfall potential here, dusting to about an inch along I-70 just north to Highway 36. Maybe a little bit more in St. Joseph and in Atchison. But this is the potential snow that could fall, not what would be stacking on the ground. So keep that in mind. That's why we're saying about a distinct to an inch for many of us in the metro, maybe a little bit higher chances towards the north. So as for your travel issues, if you are heading anywhere on Saturday, if you're generally in the region of I-70 South or just Highway 36, there's not a lot of issues there when we think about road travel. But as I mentioned, our northern areas with these models are showing a longer duration of it being snow. Today, we are seeing a higher trend of snowfall amounts in our northern areas. They kind of range generally, this is just one model, generally between about 5 and on the high end about 9 inches. What I will tell you is that this is not accounting for how much would melt on contact. And this is not necessarily taking into account of how wet the snow would be. So possibly a few inches could accumulate when we think about how much you would see. However, it could be snowing for a lot longer of time, not accumulating. So necessarily is this out of the question? No, but it's trending like it's more likely to be a few inches. Our best educated guess would be between about 3 and 5 at this point when we take into account the wet snow and what would actually stick to the ground. So this is something we're going to watch very closely here over the next 48 hours because it's more likely to be impactful for our northern areas. if you are heading anywhere north out of our area, to Iowa, to Nebraska, over towards Chicago, or trying to come back from one of those places, they are going to see hazardous travel conditions overall. We are looking at this winter storm system bringing several inches of snow and possibly a foot of snow in some areas. So it will be impactful both on the roadways as well as at airports and things like that. So please be cautious, be thinking about that. If you are, having family members or you yourself are going anywhere north or northeast here on Saturday or coming back from there. So keep that in mind. On the backside of this system, as I mentioned, it's getting cold. 27. That's going to be our high. That is our even colder than our average low temperature at this point. It'll be the coldest day we have had so far this season. Coldest day since February. And our morning low temperature will start around 20. As I mentioned, it's windy, probably feeling like the teens single digits throughout the day rather than the upper 20s. Will be cloudy on Sunday as well. Your 7-day forecast is looking cold still, but we have some more clarity when it comes to, Saturday and Sunday, which is good. So we're still 40 on Saturday. We're in the upper 20s on Sunday. Monday, we are still cold in the upper 20s. It'll be 28. There is another chance that we see some quick passing snow showers on Monday. This particular model puts it just towards the south of our area as we go through the day on Monday. This is something we're going to watch too, but just want to let you know that there is the spotty chance for some snow showers on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday, we finally dry out. We're not quite as cold. We're in the upper 30s to the mid 40s. So a lot going on here over the next couple of days. Make sure you continue to check in back with us for the latest details and the latest forecast. We here over the next 24 hours will have a much more insight on snow potential, on the system as a whole for your Saturday and Friday night. So we will make sure to keep you updated. Keep checking back with us. We hope you join us tonight at 10 on KCTV5. Hope everybody has a wonderful night and a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday.